tips to inspire you to acknowledge what love is.
I
Oh,
love this one.
oh,
Absolutely.
and of course, Valentine's Day, you know how it goes.
Mhm.
So there's a bit of love going on and sick love. Some people that I think are, ugh. But this is exactly it. This is tips to inspire you to acknowledge what love is.
Mhm.
So let's kick this off, Moira. Let's start with I actually think we have to start with PEMS. I think the tip to acknowledge what love is actually acknowledging your PEMS and knowing that. So
I was
then
going to
you
say that because really doing that PEMS check-in, that checking in with your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, that's actually, to me, that's a fundamental ingredient of self-love.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
woohoo! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our deliciously motivated mindset. Did we say
Conversation.
did we say conversational podcast? I don't
We
know.
say we say both. I think it's interchangeable.
I
Or
think
both.
just checking. Okay, well anyway, welcome. Welcome to our
Welcome.
deliciously motivated mindset do-dally voice podcast conversation slash
Convo.
yeah, whatever you want it to be. That's us. That's
That's
us. This
us.
is
Here
Debz
we are.
and Moira. Yep, Debz from New Zealand and Moira from
Canada.
Canada.
Newfoundland in
Woo-hoo.
Canada.
As we sit in the sun in New Zealand and Moira sits in the snow in Canada. Love that. I love that. And that's yeah, see, even that's a tip.
Is to
For
love that. Absolutely.
yes, I love it. That's it. So welcome to everybody who's here. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll
Mhm.
just start with one of the things we always start with, and that is our PEMS check-in.
Yes.
And our PEMS is our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And it's literally just rating yourself a 0 to 10 number, acknowledging that number, and then moving on. And we just do this at the start of the podcast, and then we do it halfway through, and then we do it again at the end, just to ensure that you're understanding things and things are actually changing in your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah.
We go from a 0 to 10, and a 0 is, oh, yeah,
Zen.
zero for Zen. Yeah, that's
Yep.
the one. That's
Yep.
the one.
It's
And
feeling
it's,
calm and present and
yeah,
blissed
just,
out. Yeah.
I just went there for a moment, went, yeah, that would be lovely. That's my aim today. And then there's a 10. And a 10 is between 9 and 11. You didn't get my accent. And it's where you are frazzled.
Yeah. Stuck.
There is
Discombobulated.
You can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can't even see the light. You don't even know where the blooming light switch is.
Mhm.
That's literally a 10.
Yep. Totally.
And it's okay wherever it is, but our intention clearly in our podcast today and every podcast is to bring you to the 0, closer to the 0 or the 0 itself.
Mhm.
So in saying that, grab yourself a pen and paper, people, and a note-taking device, and just write down what is your number. What is your number where you are? And then we kick it off. So I'm just going to ask Moira hers, and I'll give you mine, and then we go
Then we'll
flow.
get
So
on with this show. Mine, I'm at a 2. How about you?
yeah, I'm a 2. I fancy that. I'm a 2. I've just got this niggle in my throat that literally I've talked to Moira for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so before here.
Mhm.
Nothing. Go to get on camera and I'm like, okay. So I've got my niggle. So we're both twos. And that's how easy it is. You just make the decision and then write it down and then carry on.
Yep.
That's it. So let's kick it off, because today's conversation is tips to inspire you to acknowledge what love is. I love that. I'm
Yes.
just going to say tips to inspire you to acknowledge what love is.
I
Oh,
love this one.
oh.
Absolutely.
And of course, Valentine's Day, you know how it goes.
Mhm.
So there's a bit of love going on and sick love. Some people that I think are, but this is exactly it. This is tips to inspire you to acknowledge what love is.
Mhm.
So let's kick this off, Moira. Let's start with, I actually think we have to start with PEMS. I think the tip to acknowledge what love is actually acknowledging your PEMS and knowing that. So
I was
then
going to
you,
say that because really doing that PEMS check-in, that checking in with your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, that's actually, to me, that's a fundamental ingredient of self-love. And
yeah,
really, all love has to start with self-love, right? So
yeah,
acknowledging how you feel in your body, acknowledging how you feel emotionally, acknowledging what kind of chatter is going on in your mind, acknowledging how connected you feel to your higher self or your source energy, whatever that means to you. I
yeah,
think that in essence, to me, the thread running through that is, I would define that as love.
yeah.
So,
Well, see, there's a love, and then there's love for yourself, love for others, love for the bigger picture. Like there's love. But yeah, your PEMS, I think. But I think with the PEMS is don't let it get don't let it throw you off. Don't let it slow you down. Just acknowledge it. Don't let it get heavy.
mhm.
I
This is
really want.
about acknowledging. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
about
yeah.
acknowledging.
Just see it. Yeah,
So, and in this sort of assessment, you may acknowledge, overall, I feel good, but I've got a wee tweak in my back, or I've
Mm.
got, but that's not to undermine it or make it less than. It's just I'm not acknowledging, and that can be done in a real love-based way, also, I think, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely that would be the
Mm.
first tip is to use that self-awareness tool of the PEMS check-in and recognize that that is founded in self-love,
Yeah,
acknowledging what it is for you. And actually, I would also add to that to ensure that you're doing those check-ins throughout your day, not just once when you're listening to Debz and Moira here.
yeah. Yeah, actually, I haven't done that this last week. I'm just thinking. I haven't done it. I got into a pattern of it. Yeah, I don't think I've done it the last week. Oh, that's interesting.
And yes, especially because you were telling me that you went too well this
Yeah,
recently.
yeah, definitely.
That says something, doesn't it?
Okay, well, gonna start doing that. Start doing that. Back to my old routine that became a given. That's interesting why I haven't stopped. Why it stopped. Okay, I'm not gonna go down that path. I don't need to, or I'll be on a hamster wheel and I'll never get the end of it.
Do
Why,
you know,
why, why?
yeah, why doesn't matter? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't do it. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just the check-in.
That's the one. I didn't do it. Okay.
Yes. So once you've got that in place for yourself, because and I did mention it, but I think there's two fundamental pieces that I believe about love. And I think that's the vibe of our conversation about inspiring you to acknowledge what love is. This is not about us saying this is what love is. It's about inspiring you to feel into it for you. Like, what does it mean? But the two pieces that I wanted to bring into this is that I think that for every question or every problem that we're working on or wanting to unpack or resolve, the fundamental answer or solution is love-based.
Yeah.
That's the first assumption I have about love. And then the other one is that all love starts with self-love, because you cannot receive love from anyone or anything unless you love yourself first, right?
Yeah.
So that's why that's why I come in at it from that perspective. Does that make
I love
sense?
that idea. Yeah, it does. I've got a question for you that's sort of relating to the podcast. Or it's like, uh-oh. I've been watching people on social media,
Mhm.
and they're saying you must heal all your trauma first, and this is the wording, heal all your trauma first before you get yourself into an intimate relationship. And oh yeah, see, that's what I was like, So I know this is this. So do you heal all your trauma, or do you get into the relationship and then heal it along the way? Because my theory is every day you're healing from things, or every week something
Absolutely.
comes up. So if you're going to wait to heal all your trauma, you're going to be a spinster.
But
I know this is the two spot you, so we're gonna have to wangle this one into a tip, because it's been something that's curious, and I just went, oh, I'm going to ask Moira, clearly on the middle of a podcast. But that, I mean, to me, is you're loving, just because you said about self, you're loving yourself as you go along.
Mhm.
I personally wouldn't wait till I healed all my trauma before I decide to get into a relationship.
I wouldn't either.
I would definitely look at things and go, okay, they might be identical to my ex-partner, and I hate my ex-partner, then I definitely don't want to get into that. I understand that. But then you must work through your ex-partner issues, like definitely heal that stuff. But if they're like 100% just identical to that person, then I definitely would say just avoid right now until you learn to love everything. But yeah, what's your opinion on that? We're gonna have to wangle this one into a tip, Moira.
Well, it actually comes straight very well into this, because the thing is that my immediate reaction when you said that was, where's the compassion in that? There's no compassion in the statement of you have to heal all your trauma before you can get into a relationship. Because how do you know what all your trauma is? Because the other part in all of this is that we can often have blind spots or not be able to see something in us.
Or we just purposely want to have blind spots.
We can. Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
You know that I've shared this before, that statement that's what is it that's pissing me off in you that I can't see in myself?
Yeah.
But that's a gift, and it's based in compassion. Okay, so now I can evolve, and so I think the biggest piece in this is to take ownership for what is your stuff. And so, like you're saying, if you're in a relationship and there's certain quirks that in the current relationship that brings up an issue from the past, that's a gift. That's actually a love-based gift, should you choose to see it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you choose to accept this. Yeah.
Right? So that I'm not a big believer in somebody saying, oh, you have to do it this way, because we
It just
gotta
seems to
find
be the
our
latest.
own
Yeah, it seems to be the
rhythm.
latest thing on social media that, I don't know, maybe my algorithms are getting them and you're not, but I'm just like,
I
no.
haven't come across it.
Oh,
So
maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me in New Zealand. I don't know. But yeah, it is. But I love the way you said compassion. And compassion's a word that actually just makes me cringe with some things. But compassion is part of love.
it is 100%.
Understanding and, thoughts. And yeah, so it is. It is a compassion to be aware of that. Yeah.
So I was just kind of making a wee note for myself here too, is that to me, a relationship, whether it's an intimate relationship or not, all relationship provides a mirror for us.
Mm.
And so if it provides a mirror, and we get triggered, that's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift, and that's why I'm saying then you come back to, oh, that's mine. And the gift of that is, if it's mine, I can heal it, I can release it, I can say thank you to it, I can love it, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that's yeah, well, that's don't compare,
Yeah.
because even though you see what's in them's in you, it's also, it could be in another form.
Mm-hmm.
So that mirror and that comparison, it could be in another form. But don't look at people and go, oh my God, they've got everything, they've got the most dynamic relationship. Social media is like, oh my God, you can see one side of the orange and it looks beautiful, but the other side's rotten. You don't,
It's all
you know.
moldy.
Yeah, in fact, I took an apricot out of the fridge this morning to have for breakfast, and it's strategically placed in there, and one side's black, and I was like, what? So that's why I just laugh about that now, because I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm not having that. I just put that back. I placed it back nicely so it looks appealing to the eye when you open the fridge. Yeah.
Oh,
So it is that one side, we only choose to see one side often. Yeah.
yeah, but it makes me wonder, what are the people that you're seeing who are projecting this, you must heal all trauma in order to get into a relationship? Because that's a bit of a projection and a comparison in itself, isn't it?
Well, my human behavior nature goes, ooh, wonder what's going on in their life.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from. Because
You
I
know,
would never tell anybody something like that.
no, it's how, why am I getting it on my social media and you're not? Right. I'll start tagging you. I wouldn't.
No, don't do that.
Moira will unfriend me. She's like, no, I don't need that. Thank you. I've got enough. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for that, because I was, yeah, but I like the compassion and that mirror. I like the way we've definitely put that in there. But it has been something that I've noticed. Yeah, I wonder what my algorithms are doing.
So, but that is an interesting observation. But you see, even that, like, as I feel into that even more, it could be love-based, but it's also still a projection.
Yeah.
I would just say thank you, but I'm going to acknowledge what love is to me.
Yeah. Well, love, yeah, and love to me, is loving somebody all parts.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is the unconditional part, right?
yeah, and they may do certain things that push your buttons or whatever it is. They might, yep, they might. But it's wise for you to work through a way to love what they do.
Yeah.
Love what those frustrating points are, or whatever you want to call them. And the way I teach people to love is find gratitude. Have gratitude for that situation. Have gratitude they said that to you. Have gratitude they did that, or they did that or didn't do that. Have gratitude, because it just shifts. Not half-assed gratitude. Well, let's say it's too late now. Not half a energy gratitude, like, oh yeah, I'm grateful for that, but actually deep down core,
Yeah.
like, what am I
You're
grateful for?
not paying lip service to, oh, I better be grateful for this. Is no, really, and you know this about
You can
me.
feel it.
Put your hand on your heart and really tap into that gratitude of, oh, I'm grateful for the opportunity to have this challenge or have this trigger or have this experience.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
about experience, right?
it is. That's exactly it. I love the way you said experience, because I've just been in a course, and they talked about the experience, but they talked about it as a lesson. And I was, every time they said, I got a lesson out of this, and I was going 0 to 100 in my definitely wasn't acknowledging love and have compassion for anyone. They're like, oh, I got the lesson. I'm like, wow, didn't you get the experience? And I started just chipping away at people, and 100 people in a room. And they'd say, oh yeah, I got the lesson. I was like, wasn't it an experience you felt? No, it was a lesson. I'm like, but isn't it an experience? They're like, yeah. And I said, so you actually got an experience? They're like, yeah. And I went, how does that feel in your core? like after day one, I was like, oh no, I had no compassion. I was like, I didn't have a lot of love then. I was like, day two, I was like, no, if you say less, but even those little shifts of word, like having experience
Yeah.
is such a nicer feeling inside of what you've gone through, whatever, positive or negative, than a lesson.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And to me, experience is much more rooted and grounded in love as opposed to lesson. There's some conditionality in there,
Yeah.
right? So oftentimes people will say, oh, I learned a lesson because I screwed up, or I got it wrong, or I learned my lesson.
Yeah. Well, it's
Right.
such a naughty thing.
Yes,
It's
because
the
I'm bad.
naughty
I'm
thing.
bad. I
I'm
was
bad and I
maybe.
learned my lesson. Like, but did you? Were you just saying, yeah, no, but did you feel the experience? Did you learn the experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because the other thing in all of this, and this is to come back into love as well, is that at our core, every one of us is love. That's where we
Yeah.
came from. That's as a soul, I am solidly rooted in love. And so then other experiences and choices and deviations from maybe what I was wanting to do, or kind of got caught up in a different agenda or labeling or whatever it was, come back to what is love for me? Where is love? Follow
Yeah.
love, feel love, share love, see love in absolutely everything around you. And you can see it in animals around you, in nature. It's all love based. The sun
Yeah.
loves to shine on our face, right?
I know. And I'm just looking up because I
You're
love John.
Googling it.
I was looking at how John actually explains it, and John D. Martini, and he says love is a synthesis of complementary opposites. So it's loving the dark and the light, and
Right.
that's that loving all parts of everybody. Yeah, and he calls it a your polarized emotion. Yes, it's just that feeling of love is loving the dark and the light, basically.
The
Yeah,
wholeness. Yes.
the wholeness. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's inviting all aspects of you into the fold of you. And this is circling straight back into it starts with you. It's an inside job. But it's also about I know what I kind of interrupted myself there about this thing about experience as opposed to lesson, because we at the core are based in love, but as such, we are powerful beyond measure. We are creator beings. So everything that's like of the light and of the dark, we're creating it. And so it's not a punishment or you screwed up over there, you better, amend your ways and figure this out. No, I created that. Yay, me.
Yeah.
And it's an experience. And sometimes too, and this is another part of being a loving participant in your own life flow, is sometimes we do make choices that go, oh, I didn't actually like that. I didn't like that experience. So I prefer not to do things that way. That's great. Then you can lovingly say, I saw the wisdom in going down that path, and I don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm choosing. Always, 100%. I am choosing. We are always at choice, right?
And I think even if you just went, I am choosing, say yes, say no, and be okay with it.
Yes.
Anything can change, but I am choosing this. I am choosing this. And if people aren't on board with you, then there's a reason. It could be their stuff or your stuff, or you may not have given them enough information or anything, but it's not yours to fix.
Yeah.
It's whatever's in your soul, in your heart, that's what's yours to fix. If I was to
Right. And so it's
if you so choose, if you so choose to look at it. Yeah, But yeah, I am choosing. I love that. I am choosing.
I love that one too, because that one really empowers you to really be mindful and stay present, that I can always choose. And so
Yeah.
to your point, you know, if you were wanting to influence another, maybe you were wanting them to go out to a certain venue with you and they didn't want to. So when you're choosing, you can choose to go on your own, but you can't choose to make them go along with you if they don't want to.
Mm.
So love is about really coming into telling yourself the truth, because sometimes you may decide, you know, it's really, really important for me to go, so I'm going to go on my own.
Yeah.
Whereas other times it may be, no, I really, really only wanted to go if that person was going to come with me, or if somebody was going to come with me. And so therefore it's like choose something else that's maybe a compromise or an agreement or something of that nature. So it's about really communicating from the heart. And that's
Mm.
something that's really, really important for the acknowledging what love is make sure when you are about to say something that maybe you do put your hand over your heart, like I do a lot,
Yeah.
and just make sure, am I coming from a loving space, or am I trying to make a point, or am I trying to convince somebody, or am I trying
Yeah.
to be an opinion leader or something of that nature?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to take a few breaths and just come into, I'm only going to speak when I get into my heart space,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And that's part of your authenticity, you know.
Yeah,
But that I'm going to say that takes practice.
it does.
It's just actually
It's a
being
commitment.
consciously aware of it. Yeah,
Mhm,
consciously aware of it and just repeating and doing it and doing it and doing it.
mhm.
Yeah. One of the things I'd like to say is comparisons. And we haven't talked about, no, we haven't, I don't think. You know, acknowledging that what love was when you were 5, you know, it could be hugs from granddad, or like it could be
Or just a
whatever.
teddy bear. Somebody
Or
giving you a
yeah,
teddy bear.
yeah, or
Yeah,
even just waking up and what like waking up could even just be waking up.
could be.
But you know whatever that is, and you know who you were at 5, and then who you were at 10, and then who you were at 15. High school, primary school, you didn't know anything. High school, you thought you knew what love was, you know, and then you have your first love and someone breaks up with you, and you know you think your whole world's ending, and everyone goes, oh, you know, this is just the start of it. You know, you're 15, that's my love, that's who I wanted to marry. And you know, little do you, all the older people are like, don't worry, you'll love another. No, I won't. I won't. My whole life is over. You know, you got the rest of your life. No, I just, yeah. Comparison. You've changed, others change, and current, like, yeah, we evolve, but nothing's in concrete. I'm going to say that, you know, but we evolve. So be aware of comparing yourself to others. Be aware of knowing that people are changing. You know, somebody could watch a movie and decide to change their whole personality. You know,
Mhm.
you watch people.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Well, my partner, she watched a program the other day on while I was away. And she said to me last night, I think I want to go vegetarian. Well, I'm a meat eater. I love meat. Like I think of meat every day. And she said last night, she goes, oh, I think I'm going to I think I'd like to try being a vegetarian. I'm like, no, no. But I'm gonna love that part of her if that's what she decides to do, which I might just try and convince her not to. No, not really.
The two can quite easily coexist with one another.
Oh, I can do that. She does vegetarian. I can definitely do that. I think it'll work. But I understand, but also just knowing that people can change. Now, I'm just going to say she's going to try being a vegetarian. If she succeeds with it and stays with it, that's okay. But if she changes, that's okay too. So it's that just knowing that we all change, we all evolve, we grow. You know, who you were at 15 is different to who you were when you had your first crush break you, or you find out your intimate crush, but even your best friend betrays you or something.
Mhm.
Whatever it is, just knowing we all change. So don't get fixed on that one thing, that one flower, the one mold that it's supposed to be forever.
Right, because it won't be, because
No.
everything changes, and that's that thing that says, I don't know who said this, that quote that says we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are.
Oh, okay.
And so as we evolve and develop and have different experiences, and like you're saying, sometimes we can open ourselves up to some new piece of wisdom and
Yeah.
go, oh, I hadn't ever thought of it that way. And now you start to look at things through a different lens, like you're saying about your partner, thinking maybe try vegetarianism out. And that's a great thing, because that's coming to that question that I've often referenced, is that how do I feel about myself here? And so
Yeah.
that's the perfect thing to do, right? You try something out, and how do I feel about myself? Well, I actually feel energized and in balance and healthy, and my digestive system's great, and things of that nature. Or I feel like I'm missing something, or I'm
Yeah.
needing, right? So it's kind of, this is about being a compassionate observer and allowing yourself to remember we're making these choices, right? So it's like choose, and we can
Yeah.
actually also unchoose and re-choose, right?
I think, and I love that. How do I feel about myself here? You can ask it, but you've actually got to listen.
Yeah, you do.
How do I feel about, yeah, I'm
With
fine. Good. Yeah, I'm good. Yep, great.
no
No,
fines here.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I was in an event and I got sick on the last day, and I was like, you know what? I'm literally, yes, I'm in this amazing opportunity here, but my body is screaming stop. So I did. I snuck out the back. I could still hear the presenter, but I lay on the floor in their little storage room where all the trolleys are and all the boxes and all the things. Quick, the people are coming in, throw them out the back. I was one of those out the back, just lay on the floor, and I listened. And how do I feel about myself here? I felt great in the room, but there was some physical symptoms coming on. So I went, you know what? I'm just going to take myself out of the room, but still be part of the room, and just see if that worked for me. And it did work for a portion of time. So I think listen, and your body's going to tell you, because if you're not listening to your head or your heart, your physical symptoms are going to come in
And wallop you. No.
yeah, that's a lovely word of saying it. That's smash you to pieces if you're
Yes.
not awake. So like that tip, how do I feel about myself here? You must listen.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then you must change if it doesn't feel right. Not just go, okay, I feel really uncomfortable, I shouldn't be doing this. Oh, but I have to stay.
Right. Yes.
Right.
No, the whole
So
point of
listen.
that question is to empower you to make the healthy choice,
Yeah.
whatever that is, however that translates. And it's also love-based, really.
It is love, because you're loving your soul, you're acknowledging your soul, you're respecting your soul because it's told you something.
Yeah.
And you're actually like, okay, I can hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, and to your point, you acknowledge it and you say thank you. You can do some gratitude. Thank you
Yeah.
for alerting me to needing to, change my pace, change
Yeah.
my rhythm. Maybe it's oh, I need a nap, or I need to go for a walk, or I need to just have some me time.
Yeah.
Right? So how do I feel about myself? Even that, even asking yourself that question can sometimes be, I have no idea. Oh gosh, I really just need to sit for longer.
Yeah, and see
right?
that's the beautiful part. I don't know how I feel about myself here. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's okay. The answer's going to come when it's ready.
That's
You
right.
can't force. You can't. I don't know. Hurry up! I haven't got time for this. Hurry up! Hurry
Yeah,
up!
yeah,
Hurry up.
that's being stuck in your head though, but that is not going to help you,
Yeah, you got to get on that
right?
hamster wheel and go round and round and round. And I think that, how do I feel about myself here? One of the things Moira taught me is the 3 questions, and
Mhm.
that is it good for me? Is it good for others? And do I want to do it?
Yeah,
And that to me is a great love question because it brings it from the head to the heart.
yep.
Is it good for me? Yes. Is it good for others? Yes. Do I want to do it? No.
Yeah, yeah. Then and
No.
it's a no. It's a slam
Okay,
dunk no.
so it's actually if there's any hesitation in the yes no
Mhm,
or a no,
mhm.
it's gone.
Yeah.
It's
So the
gone.
point being that all 3 of those have to be a hell yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good for me. Yes, it's good for others. And yes, I want to do it. Let's go. But if, like you're saying, if there's any hesitation on any one of those 3, whether it's a hesitation or a, oh, I don't think so, then it's a no. And acknowledging that and allowing that to be your guidance is completely love-based.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
allowing you to recognize, no, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's mm. I'm conscious of the time here because we've probably got room for one more tip here. Maybe. Um, I love that. I love that. Do you have another tip?
I think
We know there's gonna be maybe one or two.
yeah, when we do our recap of our point, I
Yeah.
think that it's to always here's something that I think that's really, really important, and this is kind of hinging on what I've kind of woven into a few of the tips about all love starts with self-love. And I often have this conversation, and maybe some of our listeners will have some examples of this too, is that I was brought up to not put me first, to not love myself first. It was more of a look after your sister and get these done and love your parents
Yeah.
and so when in my own healing journey of realizing I have to put me at the top of my priority list, and I'm doing it as an act of service to all those that I'm here to serve or to look after or to help or mentor. But sometimes when I have questions or when conversations about this, that, oh, I can't because it's selfish.
Oh yeah.
Right? And so this is about really being loving to yourself. Remember that love is all about filling your cup first so that you give from an overflowing saucer. I just love that analogy. You fill your cup and you give from an overflowing saucer. That is a huge component of love because then you will never run out that way of your own loving giving nature.
I think that's a lovely, yeah. Yeah.
And how about you? Did you have another?
Of course, I just had to end another one. I was like, no, just let it. That's a beautiful one more. And I went, no. I'm just gonna say, watch your regrets.
Okay,
And
that's a good one.
the reason I say that is, we hear, you have an argument with someone and then they go out in the car and they don't come home or something happens. Or you don't say I love you. Only say I love you if you want to say I love. Don't say it out of obligation. I remember teaching my daughter, just because a boy's going to tell you he loves you, you don't have to say I love you back. And she's like, okay, mum. And one of her boyfriends at school, her male friends, he was never a boyfriend, said to me, Deborah, or actually it was Miss Cooper, why does Sophie not say I love you when I say I love you to her? I'm like, he goes, do you think she loves me? And I'm like, I don't know, but I've taught her not to actually respond in that moment unless she feels it. So she can actually say I love you at another time, but just because you say it, she's not going to be
Yeah.
obligated to say it back. And he's like, oh, okay, because I take it personally, and I think and she just goes, thank you. And I'm like, but she's acknowledged you. He was
Yeah.
just a young boy and expected when you say, 14, 15, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, when you say I love you to someone, you expect it back. That was funny. But what's your regrets? So, you know, kiss and hug people goodbye when they leave the car, you know, when they go to sleep at night. You know, if you're ending that conversation, end it in something warm and loving, because you don't know the next time you're going to talk to them. You don't know the next time you're going to see them. And if you know, I've heard so many people do things and then something happens to the person, or don't do something, and then they have to live with that guilt. And I didn't say this, or I told them to go out and do something, and, you know, get out of my house. I hope I never see you again, and I never will. And, you know, and that's very heavy. So watch your words, watch your regrets, watch your actions. Don't consciously make yourself stiff. Oh, what do I need to do now? What did Deborah say? What did Moira say?
No,
you know,
it's a flow.
let it flow. Yeah, let it flow. But just be aware of your regrets.
And
if those
that
come in, think about the experience and what you got out of that, you know, and fill that regret with gratitude, so much so that it's enveloped in gratitude that it's no longer a regret.
Yeah. And that's part of what we talked about earlier in a previous tip about come from your heart when you're speaking, when you're communicating, when you're choosing, when you're saying goodbye.
You can't take it back when it comes out. When you fire, you can't take it back. But you can choose to do things differently from then on. Yeah.
Or you can say cancel, cancel, cancel.
Yeah, cancel. Yeah.
Anyways, to your point, I think we need to start looking at wrapping this baby up. This beautiful tips to inspire you to acknowledge what love is. This has been really good conversation. I love where we've gone with these tips.
Yeah.
But
not what I thought it would be.
No, I know it hasn't been for a long time when we do these conversations, is it? Because we don't have an agenda here other than let's go. Let's see.
The agenda is to get you to a zero, to get all of us to a zero, including Moira and I. Yeah.
That's totally it. So, dear listeners, if you didn't already have your note-taking device, we encourage you to grab that pen, pencil, note-taking device, because we're going to recap and come through all of the tips that we brought up, and we might even add a few more in. So the first tip that we talked about in this conversation was our PEMS check-in, our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual check-in, because I feel like that is such a beautiful foundational piece on self-love. It's just acknowledging, where are you? What's going on? What do you need?
Don't let it engulf you.
Yes.
Like, oh, I'm a 7. This is really bad. This is my life. This is all I'm doomed to stay a 7. I've been a 7.
It's not about a story. It's not a story. It's an assessment. But I also encourage you to do it regularly throughout your day. You know, I like doing it first thing in the morning, and then I'll do it probably 2 or 3 times throughout each day. Yeah. Or more. Beautiful. Whatever you've got going.
Or whatever. Yeah. The next one is self-love. And even just saying self-love, I feel like I wrap myself in a little love blanket. Is you are your number one priority. Absolutely. Like I don't even want to go to self-love. Yep. That's it. Self-love.
Self-love. And that was the other part to that point I had said was that all answers, all solutions are based in love. So it's about being the detective and getting to that space, because it all comes, my inner landscape is reflected all around me. So in order to want to see love all around me, then I have to turn up the dial on the self-love, right? The inner part.
Beautiful. The next one, I'll do the next one. Yeah. Oh, as Moira mentioned the word compassion, and I love that. And that came about from my social media, not mine. The things that come up about people saying you have to heal all of your
trauma.
Heal all trauma until you can get into a relationship. You know, respect the person you're getting into and don't bring that baggage in. And you know, and so Moira's like, where's the compassion in that? So be compassionate to your experiences.
Mhm.
Be compassionate to others, be compassionate to life, you
And
know.
also
Um,
understand that you can heal trauma while being in a relationship, but it's about owning what is yours,
yeah,
right?
that's yours, that's not mine.
Yeah,
And being able to do that, yep, totally.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I was saying is the relating provides a mirror and a gift of a trigger. So it's a gift. So thanks. Now I can release this. I can work on it. I can get the experience or the intel from it.
Now I can see, yeah, the love in others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is where you brought this one in, and it is about loving all aspects of a person. So this is, and that's what I said is about being unconditional with the love. You don't want
Mm.
to, and perhaps that's maybe a part of that vibe of saying heal all trauma, is the um I'll love you if you pick up your socks. I'll love
Yeah.
you if
I
if
love you
you
if you take
remember.
that beard off, yeah, shave that beard or grow a beard or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's about being unconditional. Just love. And that's the sentence. Love, full
yeah,
stop. Right?
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, my part was the next one I had was the wording. The wording about I got the lesson. I
Yeah.
got the lesson. I got the lesson from that. And if you can change that to I had an experience
Mhm.
or I felt the experience, or you can even say I learned the experience or I understand the experience, even if you don't. But if you can change that lesson to experience, I don't know, it's just not as much as a dagger
Well, it's
going
not,
into you.
yeah, it's not
Yeah,
punishment based. And it's not saying you
yeah,
did
not
something
punishment based.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so experience feels so much more loving, right?
Oh, it does. Even experience, just even the word.
Hmm.
And that's not, when I say about change, what's your wording, there's a lot of other words as well, but that's definitely one that, I learned the lesson or I
Yeah,
got the lesson, and that's a punch in the throat.
truly.
So
Yeah.
whereas I felt the experience, I can see the experience I've got from that. It's just it's, that's definitely acknowledging what love is.
Yep.
Just that. Yeah.
Totally agree. The next one when I brought into reminding us all that we are powerful, powerful creator beings, and that these experiences, we are creating them. And it's
Mm,
always about choosing. So I'm choosing this because if I'm creating it, I'm choosing it. And I can
yeah.
also say, oh, I prefer not to have that, so I can choose something else. Or I can acknowledge, yes, I created this because I chose this path or this way, and I can unchoose it. I can say, well, I changed my mind, right?
As long as you're telling the truth to yourself. Yeah, I'm choosing this. I'm choosing this. But deep down, you're like going, I'm really regretting this. So,
But then, yeah, it does have to be, yeah, you're telling yourself the truth.
heartfelt, I'm choosing this. My heart feels right to choose this.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, I talked about comparisons.
Mhm.
Uh, just that, we are no longer that person we were when we were 10,
5.
20, 5,
5.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1. We're no longer that person. You're no longer even who you were last week.
Yeah.
You have different. You've learned differently. You've fed your brain. You fed your mind and soul with things that have been different this last week. Past experience. So who you were last week, you're still different. So you've changed, which means if you're changing, others change as well.
Yeah.
So keep that. So be aware of comparisons when you're comparing. Oh, my last boyfriend or my last girlfriend did that. But be aware of that. But also know that you've changed as well. Who you were
Yeah. Yeah.
is not who you are now.
And so stay present to who you are, and it keeps changing and shifting. And this is
Yeah.
the piece about being the observed and the observer, being
Well,
compassionate with yourself, right?
I was just going to say the PIMs come in there as well.
Mhm.
How you're feeling about things. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And from what you said, that point, my tip right after that one was to use that question that I love is the how do I feel about myself
Mm,
here? And so that will help you stay present. How do I feel about myself here? Not how did I feel about myself last year or when I was in that environment or when I was doing these types of activities. No, how do I feel about myself here, right now? And that will continually, like, it's a question that you'd be wise to use often. Maybe even when you're doing your PEMS check-in, it would be a beautiful
Yeah.
accompaniment to that, right?
And we've got those 3 questions, the good questions,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
Is this good for me? And these questions are best if you ask very quickly. Is this good for me? Yes or no? Is this good for the other or the others? Yes or no? Do I
well,
want to? Yes or no?
if you're taking 10 seconds to answer, the answer's no.
Yes,
So
it
if
is.
you've
Huh,
really
let me
got to
see.
think, I don't know. Is it good for me? What is this supposed to look like? Oh my God. No, it's not.
Not.
Because if it's good for you, you know.
Yeah.
They say when you know, you know. You know,
Yep.
when you've met someone, you fall in love or whatever they want, and you've got that job and you know it's that job or whatever. When you
Mhm.
know, you know, and you know. So
Yep.
don't delay in your knowing.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
Um, one of the last tip Moira gave, and I love it. I love it. And that was love is filling your cup
Mhm.
and giving from an overflowing saucer.
Yeah.
That just makes so much sense.
Doesn't
I
it?
think can you do a social media post just on that as well? Because that's a great analogy. But that explains it.
Yeah.
It just gives from that and give from your overflowing saucer.
Yeah.
And that sounds way more appealing.
Then heal all your trauma before you get in a relationship.
Yeah, than that.
Yes.
Than that. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last tip that dear Deb gave here, which I really like this one too, was to watch your regrets. And so, when you were sharing about that, watch your regrets, that really made me feel into the tip that I had talked about if you're going to say something or not say something, make sure you come from into your heart space, right? What would you like this person to leave your space thinking or feeling? And
Yeah.
come from that flowing love-based space. Come for your
Yeah.
heart. And if you haven't figured this out yet, listeners, I really, really do encourage people to not listen so much to the head chatter and come into the sage, beautiful, warm, loving energy of your heart space, because that's where the right way to go, the right choices, the right
Feels right deep down.
yeah, it's to come into that feeling soul-based place. Because I was like, whenever I put my hand on my heart, I'm always remembering that that's the seat of my soul. So I'm coming into following that guidance from there. Yes. So, dear Deb, that was all the tips that I had noted.
That's all I got too.
Okay.
I think.
Excellent.
Yeah.
This has been a beautiful, beautiful love blanket of a conversation. We trust that you feel loved and beloved by this conversation. And we're going to give you a few pieces of homework before we do our check-in to see where we are on our scale of 0 to 10. But dear listeners, if you like this, if you loved this as much as we love you, we would love to hear from you on our Facebook page or directly. You can contact us directly too. I know that each episode that we have go out has our contact information on. So even if you're not on Facebook, you can still reach out, and we'd love to hear, did this open you up to your own loving nature? And what was your favorite tip? We would love to know that too. And if it inspires you to acknowledge it within you, we would really love you to share this conversation, to bring other people into this conversation. And let's encircle the entire planet with our own loving nature.
Yeah.
Yes. So, all that being said, we were both at 2 to begin with. Where are you now?
The last 2 tips was the one that filled my cup up.
Beautiful.
Yeah. The others were great. I loved all the others. And yes. But it was those last 2 that just landed for me.
Yeah, I love them too.
Went, oh, yeah. And I could feel it. I could just feel the non-menopausal flush through my body. I could feel it going, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's filled you up with the warmth. Beautiful, beautiful. So, listeners, we would love to hear. Come over onto our Facebook group or message us directly. We'd love to know how this conversation landed for you. Where were you at the beginning of the
Did
conversation?
you say you were a 0?
I did say I was a 0.
Okay.
Or did I
didn't
not
hear
say it?
No, I don't know
I
if
was
you did.
just expecting people to know that I was at a 0.
Or I was swallowed in my own love bubble. I didn't even listen to your love bubble, but yeah, I'm sure you'll be a 0. Yeah.
Of course. But of course. But yes, let us know. And the other part of letting us know is if there is any other area that we don't cover that you would love to hear a conversation on, let us know. We'd be open to hearing what people want to know about or have our opinion on or guidance or insights. So that's us signing off with our Deliciously Motivated Mindset podcast with Debz and Moira. Signing off. So we wish you a beautiful Valentine's Day celebration. And remember, it's all about love. Whether you're in a relationship or not, it is all about the love within you.
Perfect.
Much love to you. Thank you, dear Deb.
Thanks, listeners.
Thanks, listeners. Talk to you next time. Bye.